So any questions or anybody want to comment or,
Arjuna does.
Arjuna?
And he was quiet the whole time until you unmuted. So funny.
Oh,
But
okay.
I feel like we're like living this touch. Remember that series Touch? It's like, wow, this is so touch,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I feel like, wow, like Sammy and the collective is really, it's so in alignment with what that series was all about. I know a lot of it's over my head, but it's fascinating.
yeah, and a lot of it is, I know some of it is new to me, and the level of detail, and it's
Yeah, thank you for taking it on.
well, and I mean it's beyond. I mean to think that beings could the matrix is bigger than we ever imagined. I mean, is what it comes down to, and it's more intricate than we had imagined it to be. So those realizations that are coming out, that there have been a few families on the planet that have been kind of controlling the entire planet. I mean, it gets down to that.
Wow.
Because they had agreements with, let's say, these multidimensional beings, so that they can stay in control and power. And again, I say that in a neutral sense, because we, in some ways, may have always have played those different roles, in the epoch of this this universe. So some of it's uncomfortable. And if I had heard this information a couple of years ago, I would have said, no way. There's no way that this could be true. And one interesting thing that, and again, just take what resonates for you. And it's not about it. Yeah, it's not about trying to instill fear in anyone. But a few weeks ago, the kids showed me like something different, and they said this is the Ashaka. So Ashaka, Ashaka, and it's Akasha backwards. They were showing me the other side of the Akash, and what I saw was that there were certain records that were blocked from us. So there are records that we did not have access to, and they were showing me a different perspective, that there's more there. But that's all I'll say, because I know some of it.
That's amazing.
Huh? Say that again.
Oh, let you finish that subject, and then I have something to add.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear everything.
Yeah, it seems like our audio is doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah. But anyway, so I don't know, that's why some of this is controversial. If you go through that energetic synthesis website, I mean, there's a lot more. I mean, they go, and some of it's very uncomfortable, very, very uncomfortable. So again, but when you can see that and see the depth of how deep it goes in our reality, it makes sense, and it's brought to light so that we don't go back. Again, we're not recreating Lemuria, we're not recreating Atlantis. We're really, this is a whole even bigger trajectory that we can go for, as we become the monad in flesh. that the kids' collective consciousness of the children, they're here to bridge something very different that we have never experienced before in physical form. So it's not to try and plant doom and gloom, but it's to break us completely free, and that we don't repeat that cycle, because that's how they stayed in control. Is you get so far and you think you're there, and then the programs are really meant to just keep you vibrating within that same matrix, because again, they don't know any better themselves. And there are, souls, let's say, that have gotten trapped in that cycle as well. Souls that were very advanced souls from outside the universe who came in thinking that they were going to help, and now have ended up back in the same boat again, so to speak. So, I'm just going to say, there are people that you may have listened to in the past that may not resonate for you anymore. So listen to your own inner guidance. As Sammy is saying, as your natural physical sentience starts to come online, you're gonna feel what is right for you. So again, we're breaking free of the entire matrix. So let me see what Heather said. How we manifest a physical structure to inhabit here, utilizing our own energies and universal energies. We don't need the umbilical cord of the mom to help make that. We do it. Umbilical doesn't come in till later. We can do that anywhere. Yeah, that's right. Okay, as Carl says. So any other comments or questions, about that? Okay. If not, we can.
I'm still processing, so I might get back to you later.
Yeah, I can understand that. That it's.
I'm processing the words that want to come out, but it'll come. But thank you. I mean, there's a lot of really deep gems in here you're sharing.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything that we've believed about ourselves as souls too. That comes into play. That this idea of even individual soul, and that we have to keep doing it so that we can get it right. I mean, even that is a program, because that keeps us in the cycle of guilt. Oh, I didn't do it right the last time, so let me try and fix that, right? Because as soul beings, when you're connected to source, really there's no need for that, because you're acting in alignment with the law of one and the principles of the law of one, right? So even to that degree, it's been, let's say, boxed. So again,
would you say Sammy and her peers have transcended that place of guilt and that programming?
That programming, as soul beings, not fully connected to their bodies, they can see that and access that. But what I noticed, and so that's why they don't fully connect to the physical body, because they're like, you know what, that's wrong. That's not even the complete matrix you're working from. That flower of life does not fit this consciousness, that we're trying to bring in. But what I've noticed, I started doing some work with those 12 tree grid spheres, right, that manifest the physical body. I started working on some of hers, and there is distortions in that, because she is still manifested in the physical body in the way that we had known, because that was the only way to get here, right? So it's also imprinted in her physical body, but her soul consciousness sees it differently. And that's why she's been unwilling to fully connect to her physical body.
No matter how you feel about that. I mean that in a way, like,
Yeah.
because I'm sure you wish you would, right?
So again, I know, if you want the full Monty, this is part of the full Monty. And if you want to know more, you can go on the energetic, because it's deep. I mean, it's uncomfortable. I mean, I'm uncomfortable with it at times. And I do their monthly energy work, and read some of their blogs and things. But it's actually helped me this year shift a lot, and help me come into alignment with what my soul was trying to do, and then communicate with Sammy and the collective consciousness. So again, just take what resonates for you today, and as I like what Tom Kenyon says, put it in a box next to you. You don't know what to do with it, just put it in the box. And so long as you put it in a box of neutrality, someday if you want to pick it up, you can pick it up. But if you don't have to. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So hopefully, the intention of the energy work is to then integrate and again birth something new that really has an amazing potential for humanity. Okay.
This is Heather. I'll try again and see if it's coming through any better.
Okay.
We're getting a lot of buzzy zaps and scratches. I can hear the feedback, so I don't know if that's just us.
Okay.
And the other people, because we haven't muted everybody. So if you're not talking, if you want to selectively mute, that would be helpful.
Oh, that's true.
Sometimes that has an effect. I just, I'd put in the chat that some of the things I've been listening to lately, there's a lot of talk about those original 8 cells as well. So it's just interesting how the perspectives of those things come to you from different sources, like
right.
Sammy, you're given that perspective, and Kesh gives his perspective on that, and you see a whole lot of similarities, maybe just explained from different
vantage points.
That's right. And they all have they come together to a greater perspective for me. So that's beautiful.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I know, because Kesh is doing it. I mean, he's doing it right from the atomic level and the subatomic levels. What he's working with. And the dynamics of the electromagnetic field,
Yeah, I can see so much of what I'm starting to understand about that, and especially those last few drawings and things with the little X and Y axis, and how there's different ways of looking at the polarities, the gravitational and the magnetical, how they're just 2 sides of a coin. They're not necessarily one's bad.
That's right.
They're both required. And if you go far out on a limb on one direction, you're going to go, for balance, you need to be as far out on the other limb.
That's right. Right. And we don't have to extrapolate that to our belief systems, which is what happened. And then we have these, extreme belief systems and people warring, fighting against each other.
Right. Wow. Yeah. We read it. Let's let go of that. Sounds good.
Right. So that's what we're headed for, and again, not to scare people and not to, paint doom and gloom. But yeah, we're really breaking out of that false matrix.
Yes.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Yay.
Yeah.
Go team. Go team. Go team.
I know. Yeah. Okay. So if everyone wants to, if anyone is feeling up to it, if you want to take a few minutes, if anyone is up to it and you want to ask questions now at this part as well, we can open it up for questions if you want to stay on. I'll stop the share.
Linda wants to know who can talk.
After,
Anybody?
no, who can talk after all of that?
Oh, I see.
Wow,
Yeah.
that
Amazing.
was amazing, Susan. And the
Well,
gang, Susan and gang.
yeah, and again, some controversial information, perhaps. And like I said, the mind can't fully understand some of this, and there's no real language for all that is coming in and all that's being expressed now through us. And all we can do is set our intention each and every day to do what we came to do. But we're it's a different time, and I don't know I don't know how things are going to play out for our kids or Sam. What that's going to look like, and it's unpredictable. People will say, well, what is that going to look like? Well, we say you can't really plot it all out and describe it all, because otherwise it wouldn't be new.
Right?
If we keep trying to describe the same things,
We're going to get the same things. And
yeah,
you can't envision the future, because when we envision, it's going to be the past.
exactly,
People don't
based on,
know.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So exactly, we could talk about it in generalities, so you can have some
Right.
sense of that there's peace and there's no disease, and there's no hunger, but the fear-based programs and people who are vibrating in that fear-based consciousness, and and it comes up in my mind too. Well, then there's going to be turmoil. So does that mean I should take all my money out of the bank and start collecting and hoarding things? And
No.
and it's like, no, that's not really,
No.
That's one way. That's one way.
yeah. And people may start to feel that wanting to hoard things, and even last night, that Trump passed that that tax bill, and at first I was like, oh my gosh, we can't do this. What the corporations are going to get, they're going to get more control. They're going to try and something inside of me said, you know what, they have no idea what they're going to try, but that it may not even play out the way they probably won't, that the way they imagine it, and those of us who want to now build an economic system based on love, there's an opportunity here for us to step up, and it doesn't mean have no energetic exchanges, but we're gonna be guided. We'll have what we need, and we're gonna know when we don't need any more. That's the whole idea. When we've been existing in that fear-based economy, it's all about survival. And other people talk about this too. Joe Dispenza, right? You're only thinking about survival. And really, we've glamorized our existence like we're gotten out of, pulled us out of that of being animals, for survival. But really, the monetary system is the same thing. It's just another disguise.
But now okay, talking about the tax bill or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Then we have the
Susan?
neutrality, that's all past.
Hold on. Carl's trying to tell. Maybe.
Somebody said-
Susan,
Yes.
I was thinking, and the word disguise was coming a lot into my awareness. And these past few days, and as I entered this call after I went off to sleep, I just woke up and I entered the call, and here you are speaking about disguise. Oh, it's an amazing word, and that's something that the children are bringing up repeatedly in my
That's right.
awareness.
That's right.
It's amazing. It's amazing the word disguise what it does. Yeah.
Well, and wait till you see the what we started with.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we were
Yes.
talking, we actually were talking about a false matrix that we've been in, and even the ascension to a certain degree has been in a box, you know, and we didn't realize that we were ascending, but still ascending in this box, you know. And so now they're saying, yeah, there's really, it's all being broken down, and some of it's uncomfortable, but yeah, it's all being broken down.
Beautiful.
And so I know, be interested to see how you feel about the first part when you see
Yes, I will
when
see
you
it.
see
I
the
will see it.
recording. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But anyway,
yes.
Linda, what were you saying about the tax bill?
Well, the reactions, okay, so the tax bill has been passed or whatever you were talking about. And then the net neutrality was passed.
Right, right,
And which are restricting or taking away a lot of our freedom and our rights.
right, right.
Okay. And then and our reaction to these passing bills is going to energetically pass the bills.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so if we remain neutral and steadfast on our, my future is peace and freedom, peace and freedom, peace and freedom and love.
Uh-huh.
And that will neutralize even the passing of those bills in the old paradigm.
Uh-huh.
So that's a trap for us. It really is a trap.
That's right.
Potential trap.
That's
we
right.
put our, oh shit, those things have passed. Now what? Blah blah blah. We're
Now
losing.
it's all screwed up.
It's all screwed. No, no, that's
That's right.
part of it.
That's right.
Which our envisioning.
That's right.
So it takes strength from us to realize, oh, it's just a tactic here to
That's right.
bring us down and off our lighthouse work, whatever we do, all those words, you know.
That's right.
But when you think about it, that's a ploy to get us off track.
That's right. And because those certain families that have been controlling the planet, because they've made these deals with these other beings to stay in control.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's like the last ditch effort, and everything that they're doing is, you know, they're trying to really vibrate this level of fear. And that's what I mean about being pulled back down into an old time. Yeah. The old time matrix, you know, and again, even people who are on the ascension path, putting out some of these meditations and things, you know, their intentions are good, but they don't realize that they're actually caught up. They're actually caught up in that as well.
Up in that energy.
That's right. Because that's what Sammy was saying is
spiraling down energy.
That's right. That's what Sammy was saying is that your ascension has also been manipulated. You know?
Yes.
And so that's why until 2017, they didn't reveal who they were and what they were doing, because they couldn't. Because they were more vulnerable before this time. We had to get past a certain point, and that's why there's been so much cosmic, I don't know what you want to call it, energy or consciousness streaming in since the beginning of 2017, that they had to get past that tipping point, where then it was safe for them to reveal, because otherwise they would have been stopped as well themselves, you know. But yeah, and then now come to see that it looks like, you know, we're thinking about them as this other collective consciousness, they're coming in, but we're really part of that collective. They're really bringing in the original, you know, human,
Yes, the original.
human matrix.
I'm glad you brought that
original
in
role.
because lately when I've gone into meditation or whatever, and I've gone to the statement of wanting to return to my original blueprint, I've had a pause lately because it's been like, okay, the original blueprint, which original blueprint, right? And what you were talking today, it makes a lot of sense to me why I've had that pause.
Oh, that's
Because
interesting.
the original blueprint's been kind of flawed, and it's like,
Right.
wait a minute, let's get an original blueprint that's really clean, right? And really,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's not in this box.
Right. That hasn't been the same,
So
you know.
that takes that to a whole nother level for me. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're doing it, you know, we're on that path. But like she said, it's in our, some of this stuff is just embedded right in our flesh, you know. And so, you know, if we continue to notice those things, you know, like what Linda was saying too, you know, about these things that we can get a reaction from, and I do it, you know, and I go, oh my gosh, you know, and I'll react, you know, and like I said,
It's in our cellular memory.
yeah.
Oh,
And it's hard in your day-to-day life with your kids, and you know, I'll still spit out the same and I know I'm doing it, you know, and like here I am spitting that same stuff out, you know.
yeah.
Because it hasn't
I choose to see it as perfect and divine order, yeah. Since I figure whatever steps are being made, and especially what's really getting out there in the media and stuff, are things that they're just the next step in tripping all that up and pulling all that apart.
Yeah.
You know, something's gonna not necessarily, like you said, not work out the way that they had planned with that.
Yeah, and I don't think I don't think it's gonna work out the way they even think, you know, but they're doing everything they can to stay in control, of the monetary system, you know.
Take an insurmountable amount. It must take an insurmountable amount of energy to try to hold that together in this energy. To
Yeah,
me, it just feel like looking at them like, I'll just let go. It would be so much easier.
exactly. Just surrender.
Yeah.
Just surrender.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what's that, you know,
Jump
but
off that.
Yeah.
but to them it's survival, you know, and when you're
Yeah,
vibrating that survival,
Yeah.
it's difficult, you know. This was kind of interesting. We were watching last weekend. Some of you may have seen it. It's on Gaia, and I think it just got posted recently. It's called Bilderberg. I think it's called Bilderberg. But watch it. It's very interesting.
I didn't
But
watch that. Yeah.
it's another version of what we consider the Illuminati and those who are in control, the families and the big corporations.
Yeah.
And it's like this annual kind of secretive meeting that they have.
Yeah.
And you know, and they've invited even the players of Google and Amazon into this, you know, into this fold now, that control the monetary system. They control the political system. But anyway, we were watching it. I turned this on, and Sammy was just laying on the couch under her blanket. Well, when I turned it on, she popped up. She was so excited watching this show, and she was excited because what she said to me energetically was, now we know where to focus our energy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like they're going to direct their consciousness on these people, families, corporations. She was like, now we know. She was so excited watching this whole thing, and she sat up, she watched the whole thing. But
Oh
yeah,
my God.
she was like, now we know where to focus our energy. You know, and I don't know why she didn't know that. You know, you think, well, if you're
Right.
you know, why didn't you know this before? But when you can see it in the physical, you know.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And she's really literally been working with her endocannabinoid system, her body, her physical body, and the cells to adjust her frequencies so that she is literally like, you know, and the other kids too, you know, they're literally like making that cell to cell physical connection, you know, because part of this evolution is not just like in our brain intelligence or our consciousness of, or a greater consciousness as soul or spirit, but it's really bringing it right into the physical. So it's also bringing that physical intelligence and the multidimensional awareness right into the physical body, so that we have a sentient knowing, you know, of what to do and what the next steps are, you know. So imagine a whole planet of people that are knowing, and they don't know how you know, he's like, I don't know how I know it, but I feel like this is not true.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, that takes on a whole different
Yeah.
quality there.
When you said like 25 or 30% of the people, you know, on the planet waking up, it's like, whoa.
Yeah,
That's,
what do you,
Yeah. Shooting that graph, shooting, I can see that.
yeah.
25, 30%.
yeah. And she said between now and 2020, about 40%. But for next year, she was saying the potential looks like about 25 to 30. But between 2018 and 2020, she's saying it looks like about 40% of the population.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Jesus. And who cares about the tax bill? No, what tax bill? What tax?
Yeah. And eventually, even these ideas of like for-profit, non-profit are going to go away, because
What's profit?
exactly, when you're working as a soul being to
Yeah.
just be here to deliver. I mean, you know, what is there to be for-profit or non-profit? I mean, it's just
That's neutral.
exactly, you're providing your gift,
You're
and
serving.
you're receiving energetically what you need to deliver your gift.
Yeah.
You know, and what do we need? We need food, shelter, clothes. I mean, you know, right? I mean, we need those basic necessities.
For now.
Right.
You give me a place to stay, a place to live, and feed me, and I'll vibrate all you want.
That's right.
That's a good trade. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
It's a good exchange.
exactly.
On some level, you don't need a place to eat, sleep, or
That's
live.
true.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I've been sleeping enough lately, though.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Being transcended not too far off, too.
Yes.
Right, right.
Yes.
Any other questions or comments? Or did Brenda, did you have something that you wanted to ask or say? Looks like you're unmuted. No.
Brenda?
Hi, Brenda. And Daryl?
Hi, I have some food in my mouth, but I'll try to talk.
Oh, okay, I just saw that it looked like you were unmuted, so I thought I just wanted to make sure if there was something you wanted to ask.
No, just very stimulating conversation, very enlightening, and trying to absorb it all and process it all. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us. And thank you, Daryl, for all the information that you're imparting, both physically and in the multidimensional realms, for sure. So, yeah, I mean, and, you know, I'm still working on a lot of this stuff myself. I mean, I can bring it in, but as the human, I'm still working on holding it and understanding it, and probably be listening to some of this myself in the next few months. So,
But do we really have to understand it? Just
yeah,
bring it
that's
in.
right. Exactly. Because there's no words for.
There is no understanding it.
Yeah, it's exactly right, Linda. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, it makes
yeah.
it easier realizing
Yeah.
we don't have to understand it. It just feels right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Keep the human mind out of it.
Crazy things.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but thank you so much, everyone. And we'll not sure what our next steps are. We'll keep you posted. But Sammy, thanks you. I can feel her buzzing.
Thank you,
Yes.
Sammy and Chris.
Thank you, Sammy and Chris.
Yeah, and Chris and all the other
Everybody.
kids. Yes, and we honor the parents because it's a challenging,
God.
challenging road
Yes.
for a lot of the parents, you know,
Yeah.
raising to caring for these kids with all
Yeah.
the with all the issues that come up. And